This week was interesting because there was a lot of crying, but there was also a lot of winning, sword fighting, and rice cooking of all things. Confused? Well, let us explain. This is Drag-splaining Philippines! It's kind of a busy week for Drag Race, especially if you're Filipino, because Drag Race Philippines Season 3 Episode 2 just came out, as well as Eva Le Queen's debut on Drag Race Global All Stars. And especially if you're an international viewer, there's so much to keep up with, but don't worry, we are here to explain some of the Pinoy things to you, and only you. Of course, that is because here at SISNE POP, we want to bridge Filipino pop culture to the entire world. So if you want to get more explanations, then don't forget to like and of course subscribe to this Mother Tuck-In channel. Because if you don't, I'm gonna be really sad. Now, last time we tried to explain what Alarma is, and they did it again. Alarma! Hey! They alarmed the shit out of Angel, and because of our really amazing community, so many comments came in. Someone even actually DM'd me to explain to me where Alarma came from. And it just clicked because yes, I heard this mega mix when I was younger in like fiestas or like campus competitions for dancing contests or like for like gay drag pageants. And it was this remix to, I think, a South American song called Alarma. And a lot of drag queens and gay performers used that remix to perform really like death-defying stunts just to show off their amazing skills. Now, we've talked about it on this channel about how drag in the Philippines is really all about that big death-defying moment where you really need to do really big, surprising stunts. That is just what drag is all about here. So it's no surprise that it carried over to today. And now the girls on Drag Race Philippines just keep doing the Alarma. But you know what? No one is alarmed. So let's keep that going. I'm obsessed. Now let's get to this week's festivities and let's start off with the game. This week's mini challenge is Drag Race's own take on my personal favorite childhood game, Tumbang Preso. Did you know that translating that from Tagalog to English is knock down the prisoner? I don't want to get into the etymology of that because I clearly don't know. But what I remember is as a child, I just loved throwing my flip-flops. So the point of the game really is to have like a guard and you have bottles or tin cans and you have to use your flip-flops, your slippers, whatever footwear you have, honestly, to knock down those cans. And then a chase ensues. The reason why I love this game is because it kind of puts you all in a level playing field because I wasn't like the fastest runner, I wasn't the most agile, but what I did have was really good aim. And it's pretty much one of the only things you need, but having really good quality thick rubber slippers can really be an advantage. Are there any Rambo girls out there? Let us know in the comments.
Sharpshooter, paano dali sa'yo atake ko?
Because of all this aim stuff, Versex made a reference to Cardo Dalisay. Now, who is Cardo Dalisay? Cardo is a Filipino primetime telenovela hero. Played by the actor Coco Martin, he's a police officer who always like does the pew-pew stuff and I guess has good aim. And fun fact, I think it's the longest running Filipino telenovela that has ever been produced. It ran for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, which is like thousands of episodes. You know what? I'm so obsessed with how Drag Race Philippines just always keeps bringing these like games into their challenges because it's such a fun twist. They did Palo Sebo, they did Chinese Garden. So Versex ended up winning that challenge, deservedly so. And she actually mentioned that that is because she is a baklang kanal.
Usay baklang kanal. Oo.
To translate that, that means you're like a queer person from like the sewers, which used to be kind of like an elitist derogatory term to refer to like queer people who are not from affluent backgrounds. But of course, it has since been reclaimed to mean like really proud, really rugged, really funny, and aggressive queer people. If I had to like explain it in a more international way, like from the streets, you know, some people live in their ivory towers and some gay people live on the streets. I, for one, I'm not just a provinciana, I'm very proud. Baklang ka na. The challenge! This week, it's a ball! And it's not just any ball, it's the sustainable. So the queens had to turn out looks that were made from, I guess, upcyclable materials. A lot of the looks were really great, but I will say there is something lost in translation about when like an outfit is sustainable. Because how I understood it was like you literally have to look for things and upcycle them. So trash or anything that's discarded that is recyclable, you upcycle it into a gown, into a look you can present on the runway. I don't know if the queens are just really good at polishing their stuff, but it felt like they just bought like fresh straws, fresh plastic spoons from the grocery store and made them into a dress. I don't necessarily think that's the most sustainable thing to do, but I love the creativity. But my favorite part this episode is the sari store. So for the global audience, I'm sure you don't really know what a sari store is. And to help you understand a little bit more, it's kind of like, in New York, like bodegas or like, those corner shops in like suburban areas. But in the Philippines, a sari store is not even like an official establishment because it's usually just someone's house. And they display a lot of commodities there, whether it's food, whether it's household stuff, everything. That's why it's called sari because sari is the Tagalog word for variety. So it's basically a variety store. You can get anything you want. Sari stores are a great example of how Filipinos just don't like wholesale. We're not the richest country, so we love being able to buy things in the smallest packaging possible. So in Sari store, you can buy like small sachets of shampoo or like very mini bottles of like vinegar or cooking oil. If you're thirsty, you can get yourself a soda in a plastic bag. And if you're running out of prepaid credit for your cell phone, you can also get it there. Some stores even do money transfers now. And because this is a very neighborhood thing, it's such a community, everyone is pretty much friends. Not immediately paying for what you get is kind of a thing. We call that utang. So some stores will have a list of the things you've taken and you will pay for like at the end of the month. So basically a lot of these stores have tabs and you guys have to pay that by maybe the end of the month or at least every 2 weeks. So as a true blue Filipino kid raised in the Filipino streets, I was always asked to like buy stuff from the sari store and my parents never gave me a list. Okay, I have to memorize everything that we need. And I'm sure a lot of kids still go through that nowadays.
Paminta sibuyas, bawang bitchin, isang boteng gin, isang porsyong puti, sa Lunes babayaran.
You know what gagged me was that Jiggly looked so perfect. Like this is how the tinderas, the vendors in these sari stores look. This is because a lot of these sari stores are owned by women who are running their households, running their stores on the side. So they're just at home, watching TV, taking care of their children, and answering the people who come to the door and ask for, I don't know, a block of ice or something. That's exactly what Jiggly looked like. I love it. In the episode, they called her Aling Jiggly. So Aling is kind of an honorific in the Philippines to refer to a woman who is a little bit older than you. Jiggly is gonna come for us. Women of a certain experience who the neighborhood looks up to as like a mother figure. We love you, Jiggly, though. I mean, just look at that. This is exactly how most of these stores look like. Even with like those benches. My favorite look for this runway is Yudipota's red and white number. Because I can't tell what materials these were. Like, I can't tell that this is upcycled from like trash. When she came out, I was like, oh, this is fashion, girl. Another look that I liked for this segment was Kiana's ding dong look. Kiana used wrappers of one of my favorite junk foods, ding dong. But basically what it is, it's like beer chow, I guess. It's really nice to eat with beer. That's why I love it, because I'm an alcoholic. That's what we're learning. I kind of like the concept that Versex was trying here with the phones and everything, because I think the Philippines is one of the more unique cultures around phones. And if you're not familiar with the whole load concept in the Philippines, it's basically prepaid phone credit. Most Filipinos do not have phone bills. So in relation to like not liking wholesale and retail, even for like phone lines, we don't get subscriptions. We will only pay for when we're gonna use it. So we do prepaid load, which is credit for your phone. So you can text, call, internet, whatever you want. And you can definitely get it in your nearest Sari Sari store. Funniest moment in the entire episode though was when Mick Chanel did that.
Pautang muna ate!
And Jiggly running after her. Oh my god, quintessentially Filipino. So this episode, the challenge is the most awaited for some queens, but the dreaded for a lot of them, the design challenge. And for this challenge, they were asked to turn trash into trashin'. And I got something to say. I'm kind of starting to find it weird how they keep pushing this like trash storyline with Raho. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it got old for me. And it's not even like how just inappropriate the critique was on season 1. I've forgotten about that. It's just, this is like, you know how like a joke is funny the first time you hear it, and then like the third or fourth time it's like, it's just a sentence. That's kind of what's happening with this whole trash thing with Raho. Okay, I think we need to put that to rest. And maybe since Mick Chanel has been able to like redeem the house of Le Queen, we can actually put this to rest. Also because Eva is doing such a fabulous job on Global All-Stars. We'll talk about that later. From one judge to another, it's Arbony Gabriel. So for the uninitiated, or for those who are living under a rock, Arbony Gabriel was the winner of Miss Universe in 2022. She represented the USA, but she is actually half Filipino. She's now currently based in the Philippines, and she is a true blue fashion designer. And her specialty is really sustainable fabrics. So the choice to make her a judge this episode could not be more perfect. Also, I just love her. She has a lot of vlogs on her social media about like her life in the Philippines. I love when she cooks with her family in Manila because it's kind of chaotic. This challenge was a lot of hits and misses, but I want to talk about Tita Baby's look because I really did not think that it was one of the worst. Granted, it was not super polished, but I thought that her being in the bottom was strange because I thought there were other looks that maybe should have been in the bottom. I'll keep those to myself, but. Now, I love what Mick Chanel came up with. I love that she won the challenge to close the Le Queen storyline. But I really thought Jodie Pota deserved to win this challenge because when she came out, I was like, that was the cardboard that she picked up? I did not recognize it. Blew my mind, amazing concept. And I also didn't have that much issue with the shoes. I thought it was fine. An amazing look from Kiana went down the runway, and I love that this girl is leaning into like the province girl thing because she's from CDO to Manila. I'm the package. I'm the prize, baby. I love that for her. I love that. And the execution, she was so on point with the whole, if everyone's gonna use color, I'm gonna be beige. And it really, really worked because she made up for the lack of color with that really interesting silhouette and very great architecture. She made up for it with that really interesting silhouette and the architectural aspects of the design. This episode was a tear jerker, okay? If there is any curse out there in the Drag Race universe about the 3rd season, this is not happening for the Philippines. Of course, this is just dramatic. I mean, they're siblings and they're fighting for the same dream, and one is at risk of going home. So this is just reality TV at its finest. But it's also a great exhibition of like the Filipino value of family. Like that whole thing of like one wanted to sacrifice for the other is so quintessentially Pinoy.
As a kuya, ako na lang yung uuwi para magkaroon naman din siya ng chance.
Especially because Maxi mentioned that she's panganay, and in English, that means she's the firstborn. And in Filipino culture, you do sacrifice quite a bit if you're the firstborn. Trust me, I know. You know what's interesting? I don't look it. Everyone thinks I'm the younger sibling because I'm just juicy. Shut up. And it's really very true for a lot of Filipino households. A lot of the time, especially in like situations where the family's not making a lot of money, they have a lot of struggles, the responsibility usually falls on the firstborn's shoulders. The eldest really carries a lot of that burden. And we kind of saw that with this one as well, which was really painful to see. But I'm just glad it ended on that note. Nobody was going home. It's giving me a little flashback to like season 14. There were like 17 weeks that no one was going home. But honestly, I love this because like I really want to get to know these queens more and more. But here's what I'm scared of. When no one goes home this much, I feel like there's gonna be a double elimination. That is gonna gag these girls, okay? Speaking of gag, who would have thought that a woman, a fabulous woman cooking rice, was gonna gag all of us, including RuPaul? Eva Le Queen on Global All-Stars had such a fabulous debut. I mean, she came in with that amazing look, and then she pulls off this talent. Who do you think you are? The global winner? I think she thinks that. I mean, she should think that. I cannot be more proud to be a Filipino with that performance. I think that this is reflecting what Marina did to come out swinging. I mean, the comedy of the rice cooking, the sword fight with the dragon. Was that Charizard? I don't know about you, but that is House of the Dragon for me. And the rice cooker unplugged, girl. Relatable content, because that happens to me so much. I cook rice a lot, okay? And sometimes I either forget to plug it in or forget to push that button to cook the rice. I'd be back in 2 hours and be like, I have no rice. And that's very traumatic. So it makes sense that Eva Le Queen was one of the top 2 queens for that talent show, okay? And she didn't get the $10,000, but I mean, what a great showing. Looking forward to more Eva fierceness this season. I mean, that opening look, that Filipino golden pearl look, and that witty comment, that witty answer to not be found dead with chapped lips. Girl, if you know, you know. And then her Garden of Eden look. I love the entire look, and it was made out of like recycled stuff, right? Like coconut husks or something. What a nice concept, and so interesting that it was kind of in sync with the design challenge on Drag Race Philippines. But what I noticed the most in that look was the makeup. I mean, Eva in Drag Race Philippines season 1 was already one of the girls with like really nice makeup, but her glow up, that mug, has leveled up so much. I can't take it. And then she gives me look number 3, which honestly, when she was first walking down the runway, I was really scared for what was the reveal gonna be, because I think she was referencing a souvenir. Because I was like, I need to be prepared for what's gonna pop out. Fortunately, it was a lot of coins, a lot of pesos. So I guess what a relief, but also what a shame. What a shame! No, but that reveal was really fabulous. Loved it so much. And I can't wait for what Eva has in store for us in the next few weeks. Because I know she's not going home anytime soon. Nope, no. I am loving RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars so far, because I love that they started with like the girls in that runway, because it's a really great way to get to know the girls, get to see what they can bring to the runway, but also get them to have that moment of funny banter with the judges. Plus, I hope they stick to this rule of like having one queen from one country, because I just hate it when like there's like one queen from Sweden and then one queen from Thailand and there are 20 queens from the US. I don't like that at all. So I like that this is 1, 1, 1, 1. It's giving me Miss Universe. It's giving me the O Games. By the way, congratulations to the Filipino athletes who proudly waved the Filipino flag in the games. But also, congratulations to the 2 gold medals that we took home, okay? So it's going to be a really packed next few months for the Drag Race fans out there, but honestly, that's a good problem to have. Okay, special mention, someone sent us a very, very sweet message about the channel. Thank you very much, May, for sending that in. We really appreciate it, because that's why we do it. Not only do we aim to connect like the rest of the world to like Filipino pop culture, we love that Filipinos who feel like they don't have much of a connection to the Philippines feel that they can connect now because of the content on this channel. And honestly, any kind of content that you find online that connects you to the Philippines, that is something that warms our hearts. So thank you so much for sending that message. And if you guys want more content to help you understand more the Filipino stuff on Drag Race Philippines, just follow our channel. Subscribe to us now at SISNE POP so you'll get more updates about your favorite Filipino drag superstars. That's it for this edition of Drag-splaining Philippines. And if you have any more questions or any additional information about the things that we talked about, just let us know in the comments. But of course, what we would love for you to do is subscribe. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.